All right, y'all, welcome to the show. We got a lot to get to today. Pucker your booty holes. It's going to be a wild ride. So in just a second, Elon sends the world's most diabolical email, effectively threatening to fire millions of federal workers in one fell swoop. At this point, this is beyond comic book villain level. I mean, this guy is shattering all sorts of asshole records. So we'll talk about that. We also have the town halls. We've been talking about the town halls for a while now. Furious voters are absolutely cooking Republican congressmen. And I got to be honest, it's a glorious thing to see. I got a lot of videos, so we'll dive into that. Then we'll get to Trump is officially washed. I'm calling it. This man who has a unique electoral ability. It's done. It's over. His brain is so immensely cooked. The bubbles that he runs in are just making it so that he can't see straight. He doesn't know his ass from his elbow. Wait until you see these new things he said at CPAC. It's mind-boggling. So we'll get to that. Nick Fuentes comments on the state of MAGA, and it's one of the more shocking clips I've seen so far this year. And Trump is purging the Pentagon to solidify his fascist takeover. Bernie is now barnstorming across the country and getting colossal numbers for an anti-oligarchy tour. Joe Rogan's fans are absolutely done with his Elon Musk meat riding. That's a nice development. And then later on, Elon's twisted plan to put a chip in everybody's brain. As I said, comic book villain barely even begins to describe him. All right, so without any further ado, we'll jump into it in just a second. Everybody do me a big favor. You know the drill. You know the shameless plug. Subscribe to the channel, please. That helps out massively. Costs you nothing at all. And, of course, much, much, much love to everybody who supports this show on Patreon or tips with the thanks button on YouTube or supports Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. You guys make it run. We're real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser or a corporation or a billionaire or a government. You guys fund this show from the ground up, and we have the default ads on YouTube, and that's it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it. So Trump comes out the other day, and this was like, I don't know, man. This is what happens when your sole purpose in life is triggering the libs. Trump comes out and says the following, all caps, of course. Elon is doing a great job, but I would like to see him get more aggressive. Remember, we have a country to save, but ultimately to make greater than ever before. MAGA. So that's a curious thing for him to say, particularly because Elon has been completely and utterly unhinged, doing illegal move after illegal move. And there's been a lot of chatter about, hey man, who's really in charge? Who's the king here? Who's the emperor? And a lot of people are saying it looks more like Elon Musk. He bought the Republican Party. He bought the Trump campaign. Now he owns the Trump White House. He's doing all these illegal things. He seems to be circumventing the president and overriding what the president wants. But this is Trump. No, actually, I'm still in control. Totally. No, Elon, I think you should go further. I think it's great if you go further. It's hard for me to imagine that Trump doesn't know that, like, hey, man, we keep getting new polls on Elon Musk. By the way, more on those later. And, like, homie's like the least popular person in America right now. And here you are doing your little fucking cheerleading bit for him. Okay. All right, so he comes out and says that, and it looks like Elon takes it to heart, because Elon comes out and says, consistent with President Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. You bulk email all federal employees and say, hey, bitch, I know it's the weekend. Send me 5 things you accomplished within, what was it, a day, a week, whatever it was. Got done last week. And if you don't, you're fired. Guys, this is what happens when you don't keep these assholes in check. This is what happens when Elon Musk wasn't arrested the second he went into the Treasury building and illegally hacked our data behind the scenes. The fact that they didn't arrest him or arrest some of his little 19-year-old Doge sycophants in that moment, that led to this. Because now he feels invincible. Now he's like, nobody's actually stopped me yet. Sure, there are some lawsuits, but we're, ignoring some of the court rulings. If you don't keep these assholes in check, this is what happens. He's illegally threatening to fire all federal government employees if they don't respond to his shitty email. Okay, so Associated Press says, Musk gives all federal workers 48 hours to explain what they did last week or face consequences. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers have been given little more than 48 hours to explain what they accomplished over the last week, sparking confusion around key agencies as billionaire Elon Musk expands his drive to slash the size of federal government. Now, I pointed this out the other day. I just want to point it out one more time. We need to stop referring to them as billionaires. I actually have no problem if you call them billionaires, but you have to say robber baron as well, because that's what they are. Billionaire has a neutral connotation to many people. Some people view it negative. Some people view it positive. Some people just view it neutrally. Robber baron, everybody knows robber baron is bad. And that's what these people are. They're robber barons. And we need that negative connotation to accurately describe who they are and what they're doing. They continue. Musk, who serves as President Trump's cost-cutting chief illegally, telegraphed the extraordinary request Saturday on his social media network. Shortly afterward, federal employees, including some judges, court staff, and federal prison officials, received a 3-line email with this instruction. Please reply to this email with approximately 5 bullet points of what you accomplished last week and CC your manager. The deadline to reply was listed as Monday at 11:59 p.m., although the email did not include Musk's social media threat about those who fail to respond. So what people saw in their email inbox was, hey, send the list of stuff that you accomplished. What Musk said publicly on Twitter is that those who fail to respond, this will be a resignation. In other words, I'm firing your ass. Some agencies told employees that they did not have to comply if they received Musk's message. So this is where it gets interesting, right? The Department of Defense basically told him to kick rocks. The FBI basically told him to kick rocks. In fact, Kash Patel specifically came out and said, you don't have to respond to that. You don't have to respond to that. Apparently there's some beef between those two. And at HHS, Health and Human Services, RFK Jr. Said, yes, definitely respond. Definitely respond. Let's all coddle Elon's nutsack and pretend like he's a special little boy. And so you have different agencies throughout the government responding in different ways, where some of them are like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Look, I happen to know some people who are government employees, and they've been giving me updates throughout this whole affair. And basically what they're saying is, it is complete and utter chaos. It is mass confusion. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody knows who's actually in the chain of command. They don't know if the stuff that they're getting from Trump and Elon, is it legal? Is it illegal? Should we comply? Should we not comply? There was that resignation thing where they said, we'll pay you a certain amount if you resign. Some people took it. They've never fucking heard back yet, right? So, and then of course, they fired all the probationary workers. That's a lot of people. The reports are that as of right now, they've already fired up to 250,000 workers. Illegally, again, I want to stress that. It's illegal. It's unconstitutional. None of it makes any sense. But they're saying, who cares about the court orders? Who cares about the rules? Who cares about the law? Who cares about the process? And they are causing a colossal, gargantuan backlash. So let me show you this, because I mentioned Kash Patel here. FBI Director Kash Patel tonight has instructed his employees to ignore Elon Musk's productivity inquiry, saying essentially, we will evaluate our own people. Thanks. So here we go. FBI personnel may have received an email from OPM requesting information. The FBI, through the Office of the Director, is in charge of all of our review processes and will conduct reviews in accordance with FBI procedures. When and if further information is required, we will coordinate the responses. For now, please pause any responses. The other thing is, the thing looks like a goddamn phishing email, right? This is like one of the kinds of emails that you're told in training, hey, never respond to one of these because this is obviously fraudulent. This is obviously a scam. But now you have this ketamined out, hypomanic, robber baron Nazi who's calling the shots in our government, and he's throwing around his weight like a psychopath. Remember, guys, this email came out immediately after Musk had the most embarrassing performance of any human being ever. When he sat on the stage at CPAC, he was swinging around a fucking chainsaw, copying Javier Milei's bit of we're gonna slash the bureaucracy, we're gonna destroy the government, we're gonna slash and murder. He was talking about cutting $500 million from Social Security and Medicare. He was wearing sunglasses on his face because he was in such a deep K-hole that he didn't know his ass from his elbow. He was sitting there mumbling, stumbling, could barely get through coherent sentences. And then that guy leaves there, and one of the next actions he does is email all federal employees, basically threatening to fire millions of them. I gotta be honest, man. Do we even have a country anymore? Do we even have a country? Are there any rules? Is there any order? Are there any institutions left? Because if one absolutely hypomanic, ketamine addict, robber baron billionaire can do so much illegal activity on a daily basis and get away with it, I don't know, man. It starts to appear like what it looks like, which is the law is fake. The rules are fake. Nothing matters. Power is the only thing that matters. And this guy, nobody's willing to stand up to him. Nobody's willing to say, you're stopping. Nobody's willing to even, guys, bare minimum, arrest the Doge underlings. You know, he can't do all this if he doesn't have his team of 7 or 8 19-year-old coders who are probably also high on ketamine or sniffing Adderall in the bathroom, right? So Jesus Christ. As I said, they are playing with fire, bro. They don't understand or care the impacts of their actions, right? You're talking about, understand something, guys. The people they're targeting here are literally the only people in the government worth a damn, right? These are the only people who are career professionals. They are bureaucrats. They are technicians. They are engineers. They're the people who dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure everything functions. They're the ones who make sure that grandma gets her social security check. They're the ones who make sure planes aren't falling out of the fucking sky, as we've now seen 9 times under this administration because they keep firing flight safety people. These are who these people are. So their plan is, our philosophy is government doesn't work, and we're going to go ahead and prove that. We're going to go ahead and slash everything to the bone and then turn around and say, see, we told you government doesn't work. Now you need to privatize everything. And by the way, cut my robber baron buddies in and make sure they get their piece. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. And so they are breeding a colossal backlash. But of course, it's massively disheartening that nobody's gotten this motherfucker to fall in line yet, bro. I just saw earlier, it looks like at some government agencies, they've hacked onto the TV screens that picture of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet, the AI image of Trump kissing Elon Musk's feet. And it basically calls Elon the real king. And I wouldn't be surprised. The call's from inside the house now. The call's coming from inside the house. This is all like fed up, pissed off government employees who are like, you're literally just terrorizing all of us and for nothing, for fucking nothing. So Elon can virtue signal on Twitter, right? And so we're reaching a boiling point, man. It always, every day now I come out here, it feels like this can't continue, can it? This can't continue. How the hell can this continue? I mean, look at how out of bounds we are here. Look at how through the looking glass we are here. But every day, we keep chugging along. So, oh yeah, final thing. I mentioned that Kash Patel hates Elon Musk. Apparently, that's a real thing. Apparently, a while back, he was writing about how this guy is dangerous. And so this is interesting, right? Kash Patel is now the head of the FBI. If Donald Trump ever feels like, you know what, I'm done with Elon. He's too much trouble. He's not worth it. He's not worth this headache. If he ever feels that way, now Trump has some leverage. And the leverage is, I got my FBI guy over here, and I can't wait to sick him on you. And this guy has had a hate boner for you for a really long time, for justifiable reasons, by the way. Right? So it's a way that you could put pressure on Elon to fall the fucking line and stop being the world's biggest psychopath, committing crime after crime on a daily basis. But then the deeper question remains, will Trump ever break up with Elon? And the fact of the matter is, if they made that deal before the election that we fear they did, then no, he's never going to turn on him, no matter what. Because the deal would have been, hey, I'll get you elected, here's $250 million, and also, I'll make you as rich as I am and as rich as all these tech bros are, because we'll put your meme coin out there, your crypto scam, and we'll make sure you, like, quadruple or quintuple your net worth, right? If they had a backroom deal before the election, and those were the terms, hey, we'll do this for you, and then in return, you got to let us basically run the government, dog. You got to go to Mar-a-Lago and play golf every day, right? You got to fucking, you'll be the figurehead, sure, but we're the ones actually making the decisions. If that was the deal, well, then you're never going to see Trump break up with Elon, and Elon really is the emperor, overlord, god king, right? So I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true. I really do. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be rooting for the big, beefy, wet boy over anybody else, but when you look at Elon, Jesus Christ. So we'll see, but now at least there's that one point of leverage. If you piss Trump off too much, he could be like, hey, Kash Patel, go get him. All right, go get it. The number of crimes Elon's committed over the years, I mean, it is just, he might have broken a record of crimes committed over the years. I'm not even talking about just the Doge stuff, which there's plenty there. I'm talking about previously. You know, I pointed this out before, but go listen to the YouTuber Thunderfoot did a bunch of videos on Elon Musk throughout the years. And this was before he was part of Doge, before he bought the American government. The guy is the biggest scam artist there is. The number of times he overpromised and underdelivered, the number of times he sold vaporware, you know, the number of times he committed fraud. I mean, it is fucking endless. What was it, 2017 or 2018? He had some Tesla sports car that he was accepting, people to make a down payment on. He never fucking made it. He took like $250,000 from thousands of people. Never fucking made it. Whatever happened to the fucking Hyperloop, right? Whatever happened to, I'm going to get us in Mars in 10 years? Cut to 15 years later, we're not a fucking pubes hair closer to getting to Mars, right? So you go watch all the Thunderfoot Elon Musk videos and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But if Kash Patel ever actually, if he had a principled bone in his body and if he gave a shit, he would already go after Elon, even without the input of the big guy. But of course, the way that this White House works is basically a dictatorship. So he's going to need the input of the big guy. But there you have it, man. I mean, again, this is, talk about being out over your skis. Even for Elon, this is mind-blowing to basically threaten to fire every federal government employee. And this is the classic dick boss move. There was a senator from, I believe, Washington, Senator Tina Smith, attacked Elon over this. Like, this is every dick boss you've ever had in your life. First of all, this guy sits on his fucking ass all day, right? And does ketamine and ignores his children. Like, that's a day in the life of Elon Musk. But for you, it's, bro, you got to justify your existence to me every second of every day. And these are the people who want to, hey, you're not allowed to work from home even if you're more productive at home because we want to be able to domineer over you and control your every move, us bosses. This is class war. It's class war. And he's on the side of the oligarchs and the robber barons and the billionaires and the bosses. And you need to realize there's a side where you belong, right? And 99% of us belong there. So there you have it. But it's got to stop, man. It's just got to stop. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.